about the prep before we even like got into the Kickstarter campaign.
Well, we pushed back a couple of times, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we just, I think as soon as we sort of start getting close to the launch date, we were like, oh my god, no way have we done enough. It was like, there's more to do, more to do. And it's not like, I don't think we like ever underprepared for the proposed launch date. It was just, we know we can do more.
Oh, so many other Kickstarters heading around knots as well over the summer.
And really good ones as well.
Really good ones.
Really well.
So like Dead Quiet and Socks and Rubbers, like both fantastic Kickstarters. And I think like as encouraging as we were for those things, it was still quite risky putting Ariella like slap bang in the middle of, was it in the middle? Between the two?
Between the two. It was between the
Dead
two.
Quiet, Ariella, then Socks and Rubbers. And then actually Sheep Soup as well did one a matter of weeks after we finished ours, so they were preparing for that. So I think all of us must have made each other's Kickstarter a bit more difficult and just sort of seeing how everyone else doing. And then TV Workshop did one after that, so like 5 big Kickstarter campaigns.
All successful in Nottingham.
All successful
Yeah.
as well, it's fantastic. They all got their target. We're aiming our Kickstarter to a lot of the same people, a lot of the East Midlands sort of film community. So that was a kind of like, oh god, is everyone going to be ready for another Kickstarter to be blasted in their faces?
Went to workshops as well. I think what's really important for everyone who is trying to look at this video and figure out how they're going to do their Kickstarter is to go to all of these different events. We're so lucky for us. Film and TV Tweet Up had a whole panel on Kickstarting a matter of weeks before we launched ours. Nottingham City Council put on workshops at Broadway Cinema a month or two before ours. We were just really lucky that we had so much research and development and other people's experiences before going in that we could plan everything.
Our Kickstarter did follow a very classic structure of how most Kickstarters do go, is in the fact you get the spike of donations in the first week and then at the end, but the middle is quite dry.
Why should we get in the first day of grants?
Yeah, so
we got a whole grant.
we woke up, we launched a Kickstarter at 7 in the morning.
On Ryan's birthday.
7 o'clock
on my
your
birthday.
Bloody hell,
I like
forgot.
working on my birthday.
So yeah, like didn't even really get celebrated that month, did we?
No.
That kind of got brushed aside, didn't it? But it gave me so much confidence that we'd be fine because we were grinding the first day. It must be easy. Oh my god, not at all.
Every time we got a donation, there was a huge rush inside of you for that first few days. Where you're like, yeah, we got it, we're going to do this, we're going to do great. And each time you got that hit, it lasted a little less until you were, and like, this is completely honest, isn't it, really? Like, you were thankful, but you were still just unfazed and worried and anxious about how the rest of it will go.
Exactly.
It was very stressful. We managed to take a lot of time off of our day jobs to be able to do it that month. I'm really glad because one of the big things that people always said before going into a Kickstarter is that it's like a full-time job. And I didn't believe it. I really didn't believe it. I thought if you've got everything planned, if you've got all your gifts ready, if you've got all your messages ready, if you've got all of that day-by-day content, how can it be that hard? Second week was when the anxiety started setting in.
So I keep going back to referring to second week and describing that as one of the worst weeks in my life.
I agree.
You know, like that was when we all started getting catty at each other. We weren't sleeping because we were so anxious because we hadn't budged. We were still on like $2 and a bit grand. By the second week, we were getting up to halfway point and we were like way under target. And I think I wasn't living with you at that point, but I came round and went, right, can we just chill? Like, can I come round and talk? And you just sort of like, just like a shell of a human.
Like you'd wake up in the morning and first thing that you'd do is check your phone. and the last thing that you'd do before going to bed is check your phone, and you'd be thinking about it every moment before falling asleep. And I think that level of stress and worry, it became difficult to feel positive and leave the house in the second week.
Yeah.
The second week was when it's not that we gave up. I mean, we clearly didn't give up, but the second week was just difficult,
just grim. One of the things I am really proud of what we did was the fact that like we didn't panic and completely switch things up and sort of think of how to do things differently. We stuck to it. I just had faith in it.
I think so. We kind of got a hold on it almost.
Yeah.
Of just how to deal with those sort of emotions, the anxiety of it.
Yeah.
It became a bit more methodical.
Yeah, and we just developed that 1,000-yard stare and just got on with things, didn't we?
Yeah. That willingness to do anything, and it really did grow into a willingness to do anything. It sort of carried on after the shoot. Not after the shoot. It carried on after the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Because we had gone through so much in those few weeks, and we knew that if you just work really, really hard, then you will get something. And I mean, the best thing out of everything was that everyone else never really knew about this side of it. And everyone that we've spoken to since or during has been positive and has been so loving and caring about the whole project and the whole thing.
One of the advantages I really see of the Kickstarter and the donations that we got was seeing like just how much of a community we are. It was really nice, like sometimes just getting donations through from just somebody that you've worked for like 5 years ago or something like this. It was that really nice thing knowing that it's worth it, you know. It's worth going out and making those fans.
They never doubted us. That's the thing that everyone says since. We're like,
so
we knew you'd get it. We were really worried towards the end. Everyone goes, we were really worried you guys wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
But we knew that you would.
I mean, it's probably the thing that makes you most anxious, to be honest, is sort of like not being able to gauge like how big an audience is or how many people are interested. It's really hard to, when you're on the inside looking out, it's really hard to gauge who's there, because it feels sometimes like you're shouting out into an empty room, but there's just a veil, man. They're all there, like they all had faith, and like one of the shames about not being able to like look people in the eye because I was so nervous throughout the whole thing was the fact that I wouldn't get good feedback about how we were doing because I wasn't talking to people, which changed after the second week, you know. Like after the second week I actually started just sort of, one of the biggest things I learned from this whole process was how to ask for help.
But we did come up with like a huge bunch of solutions as well. Like we came up with new offers as time went on. We recorded new bits. We had a lot of sort of family members who didn't understand how Kickstarter worked.
Yeah.
And so we made a really cool short just to try and get that across to people. And I think that ingenuity really pushed on through as well. Week 4 still sort of sludged along. We started getting a bit more. You know, some of those videos were really starting to pay off. And then we had the last day where we were on 6,000 before it started. 6,000.
Yeah.
So we had $4,000 to go in one day. That night I was more able to sleep than any night before.
Yeah.
Because I knew at the very least, it was one of those things that carried me through the whole thing. I remember talking to you about it a lot actually, that even though it was the hardest month of our lives, it was like only 3 more weeks to go. Only 2 more weeks and then we're done, and we will either have it or we won't have it. Those are the 2 outcomes. As long as I can be fine with both, if we don't have it, we'll find another way to make this film, because this film's awesome.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
if we do get it, well, great. But that was it. And so when it came round to that last day, it was more of a case of, well, this is it.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely exhausted, and tomorrow we find out whether or not we do it. I mean, the night before, I also got in touch with Gopal for like last time, and I really reached out. We were on the phone like every day for the first few weeks, and then we were a bit too busy to contact each other. Let's go out, please. Please help us. Because if you do, then you'll start a chain reaction that will help everyone else get excited about this last day. And like 7 a.m. in the morning when he finished work, bless him, he works night shifts a lot of the time. There's the money in the account.
I remember waking up to that.
Yeah.
On the last day, that was the most incredible thing to know that we got another grand. That was the most amazing news to wake up to.
I think people believed in it enough and believed in our work ethic to know that there was always going to be some sort of plan. These guys wouldn't walk into this to fail.
Yeah.
There will be some way to lift it up, and we did. And then we partied.
We did. We partied.
Yeah. Now we are at a great high point because we've now made the film and it looks sick, and we've just got everyone who backed us to thank. And difficult bit is that I've still got to sort out sending out all of these different awards and stuff. That's very important. And I think people should. Last piece of advice for people who do want to do a Kickstarter: make sure you got plenty of time or manpower, or you plan it properly how to get your rewards back out to people. Because that's important. You can't forget that. I haven't forgotten. I just need to get it done.
My bit of advice would be, don't think you can do it by yourself. Get a good producer.
Do you have any advice, Jack?
I suppose, I don't know, have faith in yourself. You know, you doubt yourself a lot during this process, a lot. So just, if you keep on going, and if you've put the work in, then you'll be fine. It's, it's worth it in the end. It's a horrible month, but it's worth it.
You look so